Well, on behalf of Take 7, I'd like to welcome Karen Lance, Managing Director of Qube Recruit Consult.
We're a smallish Sydney-based recruitment consultancy. I started the business in 2007, and we primarily supply office support staff to the corporate sector in Sydney.
Now, I can name 20 recruitment consultants who over the last 18 months are no longer recruitment consultants because the industry tanked. All right, that'd have to be the summary.
Oh, yeah.
Was that your experience?
Oh yeah.
Talk us through that.
Well, the market for us basically disappeared, and I think it's probably safe to say that 50% of our industry disappeared overnight.
Customer acquisition. Okay, how does that play out as a strategic part of your business?
Typically of recruiters, the marketing is heavily cold calling, lead focused. It's very ad hoc.
Right.
It's almost yellow pages. In fact, it's the Financial Review and various other things that we use.
So it's a high activity rate.
Hardcore sales.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there are different ways of going around it, and we have the direct marketing in terms of flyers and.
So you do direct marketing?
Absolutely. I mean, it's administratively painful, but it's something that we do we're about to do one, I think, in the next month or so, but we try and do them as regularly as we can. It's something that we're going to become better at, I hope. I've done segmented mailers previously. The next one's going to be a blast, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Because it didn't work?
No, because it's too difficult to manage.
So predominantly you go to market via a direct sales force.
Yeah.
Do you have expectations of them in terms of call rates, in terms of client meeting? Do you have?
Yeah, absolutely.
How is all that laid out?
We keep lots of stats,
right.
Especially for a small agency.
2 or 3 things that you call out as being your leading indicators. So not so much what your business is going to sell in the next month, but why your business is going to be successful in 6 months?
I guess the other end of that is, during the GFC, our marketing numbers were so high, and I'm talking numbers game here, which is not how we really like to do things, but the numbers were so high that I knew when we came out of the GFC, we'd get something out of that.
So there was almost a leading indicator there.
Yeah.
That said,
there had to be, because we were talking ridiculously high numbers.
Right.
And that's not how I would generally prefer to run the business.
Market expansion, you mentioned product tweaks, new product. Where do you see yourself heading there?
Well, you've caught me at a particularly interesting time in that I've just taken measures to double our business. Right. And it's a bit of a difficult question for me to answer at the moment, because there are 2 areas that I'm looking at, either adding on specialist services to what we already offer. If they come to us for their office support and business support staff, instead of having to go to another agency for their IT or their accounts and finance staff, they come to us. But that is dependent on me finding the right people, and I'm realistic to know that that may or may not happen. Yeah. If that doesn't happen, then I will be adding on extra staff and teams to my existing business. So I'll be doubling within the next year.
When you look at what you're doing now, how are you going to know you're making the right decision?
I have a business partner who is there if I need his advice, and he's certainly encouraged me to ramp up the business. I have a chairman who I work through just about everything with.
Right, okay.
And he's my mentor, and he's been around for a long time, and he understands business. So I couldn't pretend to be responsible for, I just implement it. But the 2 of us run through everything together. I come up with, I'm more of an ideas person, he's the numbers man.
Okay, so it's a treading that fine balance between ideas and the practical reality of getting it done. And of course, no conversation is complete without raising, the elephant in the room. Twitter, Facebook, everybody talks those things. Do you talk those things?
I do my best not to, only because I don't feel that I know what I'm talking about. But do we have a Facebook page? Yes, we do. What do we do with it? I have no idea. And Twitter. Do we tweet? Apparently, we do. I have someone external tweet for us, so I don't actually know what she says. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I just don't, honestly, I don't know.
Do you find that that's actually disturbing?
That I have no awareness of.
Some people are citing it, a source of differentiation, a channel for sourcing people. Is it now becoming more relevant that you've actually got to understand that?
Probably. I think I'm just trying to remain ignorant as long as I can, but definitely. And I'm assuming that at some stage people will come onto the market to advise people like me that really don't have any idea how to use it for their business. I'm sure that that will become part and parcel of what's available out there. And, but I'm clearly not an early adopter of these things.
Well, on behalf of Take 7, thanks very much for taking the time with us today, Karen.
Very welcome.
Cheers.
Thanks.